In today's video, we'll be going through the hive, which is Queenless, and in my 6-7 years of beekeeping, that's the most aggressive hives I've gone through. So in this video, we'll be going through different methods of fixing the hive by introducing a new queen, and also by giving them queen cells. Just watch the whole video and find out which of the methods worked for them and if we were able to fix that aggressive hive or not. Hi, welcome to the video. In today's task is that we're trying to recover a queenless hive, and what we're doing for that is we're going to my other hives which are strong colonies, and what we're going to do is take a queen from there, put her in the cage, and I'll show you that process separately in a bit later. So I started off opening up one of my strong colonies. As I was lifting the supers, I realized that there's an abundance of nectar at the moment, so they had filled up the 2 supers I had put on. So I've put them on the side, and in the end I'll put another one for them. Surprisingly, when I opened up the hive, this was meant to be one of my good calm hives, which had turned into quite aggressive. So I was going through the frames, and what I could see through the frames was a very good and strong pattern of brood being laid. Some of it was capped, some of it was uncapped, so I could see that it was in all different stages. So what we were trying to do was look at the brood pattern and see if we can find a frame with some newly laid eggs, which we can leave it for this colony so they can raise a new queen. And what we'll do is take that queen and put it in the queenless hive, in a cage, which I'll show you later how we do that. But what happened in the end was that we could not see the queen in the hive. It's definitely not a swarm, because I was in this hive last week. It was calm. I'm assuming the queen's not there anymore, probably got killed or squashed by mistake last week, or something happened in the week, so the queen's not there. So we went through the hive, couldn't see the queen. So at this stage I added the super back on and closed the hive, and I'll show you later in probably about next week's video how we will try to recover this hive as well. Just doing a little bit of clear up of the wax that was drawn in the roof and in the crown board. So just done that all, and that's it. Just close the hive now. So after the first hive, so I opened up these other hive that I have on the other side of my apiary. So the 2 supers that were on the top, they were quite full as well, so we will add another super in the end. When we got to the brood box, this colony was a lot better than the previous one. They were absolutely calm, and we could easily go through the hive. The few bees that you see flying around are still bees from the previous hive that we looked into. These bees were absolutely calm, and we could just easily go through them. So we started looking through the frames, and the queen had been laying quite amazingly. Like, the frames were full of brood, a lot of capped brood in there, and then a lot of uncapped brood as well. So the main aim is to find the queen, and if we can see the colony's queen right, and they've laid, the queen has laid in the colony, that will give them a chance to raise a new queen. This frame, this frame that we've lifted up, that wasn't that frame. It was, I believe, this frame that we lifted up. We saw the queen, so I held the frame in my hand, and with the clip we caught the queen in that cage. Now we will put the frames back in the hive, and we're making sure the queen is safe in the cage that we've got. So we put all the frames back in, added the new super at the bottom, and put the old super boxes right on the top. And what we'll do is, while we prepare the queen to go in the cage, we'll put the queen in the hive from the front, so the queen doesn't feel endangered, and the colony still can smell her pheromones, so they don't go into panic mode either. So we came back to the hive with the queen cage. So we removed the supers up, which were absolutely full as well. So in the end we added another super in the end for them. I was a little bit nervous because this hive was really aggressive last time, so we didn't waste any time on this. We quickly opened up the hive. There was a lot of bees flying around us, so we quickly removed a dummy board, made some space and added the queen cage in there. The white thing that you saw on the cage was the fondant that I've put on. What will happen with that fondant is that it will take about a couple of days before the queen can come out or the bees could reach them, the queen and the attendant bees, and that will give the colony enough time to accept that queen. We'll come back in about next 8 days and see if they've managed to do that, and if the other hives managed to make the queen cells. So here we are in the hive, at the hives following week. The hive that we're opening up now was a hive where we took the actual queen from and put her in the cage and gave that queen to another hive. So today's inspection was mainly to see if they've managed to build the queen cells in this hive, because now they don't have a queen, so they will build their own queen cells. Surprisingly, this colony is actually very good because they don't have a queen in there, but they were still very calm, because normally that triggers a bit of aggressive behaviour. When we started going through the hive, first few frames, we couldn't find any of the queen cells, and that kind of worried us a little bit. But as we moved to a bit more centre of the hive, we started seeing queen cells. I was hoping to get at least 3 queen cells because I needed them, but they'd done surprisingly well, and we managed to get there was about a good 7 or 8 queen cells in there. So now this is the hive that I'm going through. So we did find the queen cells in there, so I moved on to opening up the hive that way we put the queen cage in. As I was removing supers, it was fine, but as soon as I removed the last super and I got to the queen excluder, the bees were aggressive as they were last week. I got stung through the gloves. So what I did was by lifting up that frame, I saw it was absolutely empty. There was no brood in there, and the way the bees were behaving, I could tell that they had rejected the queen. So what we did is we took in one of the frames with the queen cells on it, and we gave that frame to this hive. That's the best way that they can raise a queen. So when you give them a queen cell, it only gives them 2 days to accept or reject that queen, whereas this queen cell will be there for about a week before it hatches out, so that will be a guaranteed accepted. What we did also, as you can see, there's a nuke in the corner of in the corner. So we took one of the queen cells from the colony, we put that queen cell in there, and we took some frames out, and we gave like a mixture of frames, like some with honey, some with brood, some with uncapped brood, so to give them a good start. So that colony will become a new colony for themselves. The reason I'm doing that is so I'll go in the winter with an extra colony, so if some of them don't make through the winters, I'll still have enough to start off the next season with. So this hive again last week was surprisingly aggressive, and we realized there was no queen in there, so we gave them one of the frames with the queen cells in it, so they can build their queen. So if the queen cell was nearly done, so all they'll have to do is just cap it, and by next week the queen should hatch, and hopefully that will fix all the colonies that we have.